What are Nebraska's keys to victory against Wisconsin?
Stopping the run. I mean, I think Wisconsin is going to run it. That's what they do. They were 1 of 12 or 1 of 13 on third downs last week against Oregon.
Yeah, I haven't done a big scout on Wisconsin. I mean, they just fired. It's kind of hard to answer, Abby, because they just fired their offensive coordinator, Phil Longo. They won't change up. They can't change things up that much, but it affects it. They were running what they called the dairy raid, but it wasn't like they were passing it all that much. Phil Longo was an air raid guy, but he runs it. I don't know. I haven't scouted him that much. I don't know exactly what they're getting. Braden Locke is very average quarterback.
Will Pauling might be hurt.
Oh, that would hurt them.
That's why I think they're going to run the ball. Because one, why did they just fire Phil Longo? Because nobody liked the air raid, and they wanted to get back to power football. What's one way to win the fans back and win guys like Barry Alvarez back? Get back to some power football and play to your strengths, which is their running back. Their wide receivers are dinged up. Their quarterback play has been atrocious. Like, run the ball. So that's what I'm expecting if I'm Tony White.
Yeah, I think so too. They're down. I mean, they lost their Maluzzi. They're down to number 3 at running back too.
Tywee, what's his name?
Walker.
He's good.
Yeah, he's got 800 yards rushing.
He's pretty good. But he started as the number 2 or number 3.
The offensive line though is the strength. Like they have a good O-line.
And they're good. They're like their defense. It hasn't been a great year defensively for them, but if you eyeball them, they got it. They have the look of they're long, athletic, big.
Bottled up Oregon.
Exactly.
Well, in the punting game and the field position will be big for both teams. Yeah. 2 offenses that don't score much. Mm-hmm. How do you score? Shorter fields.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's all right. Exactly right.
Okay.
Next question.
Next one. Did you see a difference in Dylan Raiola in the offense with Dana Holgorsen calling the plays?
Got it. I mean, the big thrust was they wanted to get the ball out quicker, out of his hand, out of Dylan's hand. I think that happened. Other differences, they went to Bonner more. I mean, Bonner caught 3 balls. He had caught 3 balls against UTEP, but since then, not much action. They obviously identified Bonner as a player that could help them. The tight end snaps got changed up a little bit. You saw Borkacher play 28 snaps. Lindenmeyer played 14 or 15. That was different, right?
Yeah, and I would like to see they kind of just dip their toe in a little bit with this new transition where everything was just safe. It was quick. They got the ball out. They took some pressure off the offensive line. They didn't leave Dylan sitting back in the pocket like with a target on his back, and they got the ball out, but they also only completed 2 passes that went over 10 yards. And they have to have a downfield element. And again, that goes back to receivers not being able to get off routes. But if you don't put any pressure on defenses down the field, everything becomes hard. And so while Dylan was, I thought the just overall flow and the operation of it looked better. I mean, it was a non-threatening offense where everything was dink and dunk.
What did Sean, you wrote it in your Pro Football Focus grades. I think Dylan was 25 for 27 on throws under 10.
Yeah, and he only
27 throws under 10.
And he only completed 2 passes that traveled more than 10.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. Got to open it up.
Not the final, the ball in the air. The length of the pass, not the total distance of the play.
Got it.
They only had 1 passing play by a receiver over 20. Now, Emmett Johnson had the longest one. And
29.
And when teams play that man-to-man, you flare out the running back.
Yep.
Okay, next one. What are your thoughts on Jamari Butler and Marquise Buford coming back? And then also, is there another senior or 2 that are likely to return?
Well, those guys aren't seniors. I mean, they're juniors. Yeah. So it's more these guys that have to make that decision on the year and how they want to play.
If they want to use that extra year of eligibility.
Harburg intrigues me. Gabe Irvin intrigues me.
Yeah.
What their thought process
good
is.
Ones. Yeah.
Because 2 guys that are kind of not in the picture right now, but with a tightened up 105-man roster, what kind of value do they have in the market right now?
Right. Oh, I mean, Butler's interesting. This is why these discussions are sort of awkward and confusing. Butler's a 5th-year guy, but he's not a senior. He's a junior technically, but he's a 5th-year guy. So, I mean, anytime you get a big back, Abby, here's the thing that's very important. Big bodies are really important, especially in this league. So you got one back who's played as extensively as Butler is huge. Buford is critical to this program because he's a physical corner and a great locker room guy. You know what? I like watching Buford play football because he's very physical. Corners aren't always physical. We had a couple corners on this team right now aren't very physical. Buford, physical guy. Watch him tackle. I mean, tackles with force. I love him, and he's a great locker room guy.
What about Turner Corcoran and Teddy Prohaska?
Good names, huge, important.
I mean, talk about an offensive line that loses a lot.
Yep.
Yeah,
seems like it. Yeah.
Where are they going to go? I mean, what is their value?
But if you're Teddy and you've had 3 season-ending injuries, like
you retire,
does he want to continue to play?
He does. I mean, I've heard enough to know that both those guys are trending to return. Yeah, okay. I mean, I think we had it in Tunnel Talk.
You did.
About 6 or 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, and Teddy's around the team a lot. You can see he's engaged. Turner Corcoran too.
And look, they're both going to make significant amount of money to return. Like, if I'm just going to make up a number, but if they said, "Hey, you'll resign for $200,000," where are you going to get $200,000 as a first-year college graduate? You're not going to get it.
Hard to get.
I mean,
that NIL money gets guys back like that. It gets them back.
You make more than a first-year doctor.
Right.
To come back and play football.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but the NIL, it's not only a discussion about young players coming in, it's retaining older players.
Recruiting your roster.
Yeah. You're right, Sean. Those guys are minimum $100,000 guys, I would think.
100 to 200 and that. I mean, 6-figure value players. I mean, you need linemen.
Yeah. All
right. Final question.
Okay, so you guys just got back from LA, but you traveled to 4 places this year. What was your favorite road trip?
It's easy for me.
Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't Columbus.
It's a weird place.
Yeah,
we got we stayed downtown.
We don't need to.
We don't need to get into the gas station.
It's got a little rough.
Got a little rough at a neighborhood gas station.
Yeah, LA by far for me because of the scene at the game. You guys probably got tired of me telling you how beautiful it was. I mean, I probably said it 15 times during the game. Look at how gorgeous its setting is.
Well, you look and there's the hills with a Hollywood
San
sign
Gabriel
to your left.
Mountain.
And then you go, oh, there's the skyscrapers of downtown LA, and you go a little further. Oh, there's snow-capped mountains. It's
and
like,
then
holy
all the
moly.
way to the left was the downtown Beverly Hills.
Yep.
So it was Beverly Hills, Hollywood, downtown LA, and the mountains. I mean, that was your view in the open air press box.
Not bad.
Open air press box on a gorgeous,
60
degree day, sun splashed. LA is not anywhere I'd want to live. It's a mess, but it's fun to visit.
Yeah. Spend a couple days.
It is really fun.
What did that cab driver tell us about his son, like the home prices?
Oh, like a middle class home in Nebraska would be
$400,000.
$14,000 a month.
For LA middle class
mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. LA middle class home, $14,000 a month. But man, USC, that setting for a game is it's not as good as it gets because the Rose Bowl, for instance, across town's better. But the Coliseum's
was way better than I expected.
Yeah.
And I would say Mastro's was our best meal of the season.
Oh, maybe the best of my life. I'm 58.
Hard to argue.
I'm 58. I think it might have been the best meal I've ever had.
We didn't realize that the penthouse level, we could have had dinner up at the penthouse level.
That's where all the celebrities
That's
go
where
to.
the Rock goes.
Yeah.
And we could have sat up at the penthouse level.
Mariah goes up there. So what makes it good? It's this main area where we sat, which is really nice, elegant, dark, properly dark.
We needed flashlights to read the menu.
Yeah.
With our old
Properly
eyes.
dark, elegant. But then upstairs, there's this whole nother element where they have live music. And it was beautiful live music. Not overdone.
We had live music on our level.
Did we?
All 3 levels.
I didn't even notice that.
7 days a week.
It was so dark, I didn't notice.
Yeah,
So dark you couldn't hear.
the ambiance of that place was top 5 I've ever been to.
And you guys mentioned the waiter, high level.
Oh yeah.
Penn
Pro.
State, he was a Penn State guy.
Pro.
100.
Yeah.
That guy's got to be, he's valuable to that place. Really valuable.
Yeah. And the 2 trips we stayed in, so Purdue and Bloomington, kind of the same trip because we stayed in Indianapolis both times.
Which is great.
Yeah. So it was just fine.
Indy's great.
So LA.
LA, not even close.
Now we haven't had Iowa City yet, fellas. So just kidding.
That's always it.
Last time I was there, I got snowed in for 4 days.
That's great. God.
We won't even really get to enjoy Iowa City.
Because it's
It's a night game.
Yeah.
And I mean, Thanksgiving Day, what are you going to do when you get into town?
Everything's closed.
Everything's
Steak and Shake's open because one year on COVID year, I got in and I had to eat something. And Steak and
maybe
Shake,
that's what we're doing.
Steak and Shake was the only place open.
We found a bar last time and the band came in. Remember?
We went to Brothers.
Was that Brothers?
Yeah, well, my cousin was in the Iowa band and we saw her. And then we went after the band was playing, we went to Brothers.
We'll figure it out, Sid.